A big Star Wars announcement was made right before Comic-Con last week. Disney has confirmed that the second Star Wars anthology spin-off film will focus on everyone's favorite smuggler-turned-rebel, Han Solo. The story will focus on his early years, showing how young Han became the smuggler, thief, and scoundrel that Luke and Obi-Wan first meet in the cantina at Mos Eisley. Don't be surprised if this is a more badass shooting-first version of the character. The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and Raiders of the Lost Ark screenwriter Lawrence Kasdan is co-writing the film, and it will be directed by the Lego Movie and 21 Jump Street directing duo Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Awesome!
The Han Solo movie will jump into hyperspace in May 2018. Star Wars had a huge presence at the San Diego Comic-Con over the weekend, with the cast and crew assembling for a panel and a surprise concert. We'll have a closer look at what went down at the con later in the show. And there was some sad news at Comic-Con. Nintendo President Satoru Iwata passed away on Saturday after a battle with cancer. Iwata became president of Nintendo in 2002 and moved the company away from trying to compete with Sony's rival PlayStation and instead focus on unique devices like the DS and the Wii. This was a huge success for Nintendo and the entire gaming industry. Iwata's last big decision was to embrace mobile gaming, with the first official Nintendo title slated to hit smartphones and tablets later this year. Very big stories today in the rundown. Here is my pal Marissa Roberto to help me get through them, and I think the first thing that we need to talk about is Satoru Iwata passing away, which was incredibly heartbreaking to read about and hear about as we were on our way back from Comic-Con.
Yeah, we were on our way back, and then we heard it as we were getting onto the plane, and just heartbreak. I was so shocked by this whole thing, and then when I get home and you start thinking about it, you start thinking about what he means to you and what he meant to your childhood. I had tears just going through all of these. Like, you want to look at all the games that he's made and just like really wrap your mind around everything that this man has done and contributed to. And it's so heartbreaking.
And I think even more than that is just sort of leading Nintendo through a lot of incredible transitions and changes and risks. He really typified the creative spirit of Nintendo, and he's going to be sorely missed in the video game community in general. All we can say is thank you to Iwata-san, and send love out to Nintendo, who must be completely devastated by the loss of their leader like that.
It's just so, I'm just completely heartbroken, honestly.
Yeah. Well, in the better news department, we know that Han Solo is going to be making a comeback. You've got a pretty good idea of who they should cast for this Han Solo movie.
You and I saw The Age of Adeline.
Yes, we did.
And there was this kid in there that looks exactly like Harrison Ford, and he played a younger version of Harrison Ford in the movie, Anthony Ingruber.
Right.
Now, this guy actually got the role because he had an impression of Harrison Ford on YouTube.
Incredible.
So, and he looks just like him.
Yes. Now, he does look just like him, and he can sound just like him, but obviously we don't know how well this guy can perform. He can do an impression of the iconic Harrison Ford, but is that enough? And is that what moviegoers would want, or would they want a kind of a reinvention or a reinterpretation?
But I mean, we have a completely different look for James Bond, and we all accept it and love it, so we could go in that direction as well. Who knows?
It's crazy days.
It is crazy days.
I would never think to see Harrison Ford be replaced in these roles, but that's about what we're going to see in the next little while. Crazy stuff. All right, well, right now it's time for us to go behind the scenes on Ant-Man.
The Rundown is brought to you by EB Games.